Alrighty, campers, welcome to Total Drama Randomized Cast. So, for this video, it's gonna be very different, and I have to figure out my own plot since it's characters that are not supposed to be in the season and some that are supposed to be in the season. So, Alright, before we start, and it's mostly mergers, plus I've included Redonkulous Race by the final 8 teams. Yes, this does mean Noah is included. So is also others like Kerry, Emma, and Inui and stuff, and those guys. No, yeah. So sorry, Dwayne Junior fans, they're not included because they came ninth, sadly. So I'm going by the order that I put them in. So I'm gonna start off with contestant number one, introduced Jeff. Jeff comes in the same thing he did in the show in Ireland, so same thing happens. Tom comes in, but this is his season 1 attire, so he's having the mask on even though it's not shown, it's his all-star profile. So yeah. Mike comes out as a normal guy, but no one really knows about his split personality disorder yet, so that's still one of bits of the plot points still happening. The next one introduces Raj, who would basically already become friends with Tom already, and Jeff, and I feel like for this, they would have a close friendship. Next one introduced is Max. Max says, when I win this, I'm gonna rule the entire world. And Don says, heh, right mate, you won't make it far. The next one introduced is Aiden. He comes out and says, hello everyone, and pretty much the same as he was introduced in Century Chem Season 2. Carrie gets introduced, and she's gonna have near the same one as Bridget, but she doesn't surf. She just arrives and says, hey, what's up? And Jeff and Carrie will already have sparks coming out for each other. The next one introduced is Zoe. She's really happy to be here, and I know she's like Carrie, but it's what the randomizer chose, so yeah. I feel like she got the same introduced as she had Revenge, saying that she's really happy to be here. The next one introduces Axel, which Aiden would say hi, but Axel would drop her bags right onto Aiden's foot. So yeah. The next one introduced is Marissa. Yes, I've got both survival experts on the same team. Don't ask why, I had no ideas what to do. And the last one introduced for the killer pass is Ellie. She'll have the same introduction she did in DC1, but sadly Gabby isn't here. The first person on the screen gophers is Logan. Logan is pretty much gonna have like Tyler's entrance, but more athletic in a way. Caleb comes in the same as Justin had, but Dom won't have any intimate feelings, nor would DJ, so yeah, that would happen. Z joint comes in and it wouldn't. No, actually, wait, I've got an idea. Trent comes in next. And then followed up by Z because he got late for his one, so he asked Trent to bunk on his one, so he's also here. So Z says, what's up, I'm Hepsachias, and happy to be here. And Trent says, yo, I'm good, okay. And then she goes onto his side. Next introduced is Noah, who are the same as Season 1's, but he'll have more of a redonkulous race manner to him. So at least he's not gonna ruin all the challenges. He's not gonna, like, screw up. The next one introduces Fiora, and everyone's just shocked when they see the kid. And then she says, what? I wanted to have fun. Too bad my parents don't like me. It's fine. They just preferred me gone. And they just shrug and just don't care. The next one introduces Izzy, which is the same as Season 1. Noah helps her up and says, and it feels like she goes crazy now. The next one introduced is Sugar. So she would come up, say about her she's an actor, but Z mentions, weren't you in that milk commercial? Sugar says yes, but don't mention that. She doesn't like that memory. The next one introduces Tess, and she says, whatever, hello. And then she goes next to Tren, and the same thing like when in Tren happens, but they kind of don't really have it yet. Next introduced is MK, and she's pretty much just gonna have that snark part of her. So she says, what's up? And same as the reboot introduction. And the last one introduced is Emma. Yes, I'm including both Noah and Emma, which means I will be including their love story in this. So yeah, too bad. This is how I roll the episode, and it would end with after Emma's introduction, leading up to episode 2. After some interaction, so it starts off with some interactions between Jeff and Kerry, Mike and Zoe, Raj and Ellie, Marissa and Axel, Logan and Noah, Trent and Tess, MK and Fiore, and of course Emma and Noah. So yeah, in the first challenge, it's the same as thing while diving them off. So Jeff would do it, Tom would do it, Mike, Raj, Max, Aiden, Kerry, Zoe, Axel, pretty much everyone does it pretty much. So it leads to the challenge. But I think overall, because of the power players they have, I'm gonna pretty much say that the first people that pass is the um pretty much it's the killer bats making it through, which does mean the Scream Gophers go to elimination, and there'll be a couple. So I will be showing who would be voting. So I'll just open up 2 slots here to show. So there would be some votes on Sugar for being an absolute annoyance, being Logan, Trent, and I'm gonna say also Tess, and Fiore might get everyone else to vote off Caleb, which means same thing in timelines. He won't have a Lindsay storyline. Sorry, Caleb, you are eliminated. So yeah, and Caleb would also vote for Sugar. So yeah, that's how I roll, and yeah, that's how I do it. Okay, goodbye, Caleb. So then we have the big sleep. So I think basically the same thing that happens. It would be basically between I think Tess and maybe like Tom, because he's a survival expert. I think also Marissa would be here, but then she just dozes off. So it's between Tess and Tom. So I think between these two, Tom would fall asleep, and that means the killer, like the Screaming Gophers, make it through. And because Max has been an annoyance all this time, I think this leads him to his own elimination in this case. So, yeah. Sorry, Max, you are screwed. So, yeah. The next one is the Dodgeball. Yes, Noah is gonna play, so I think the 5 on each team would be Emma, Logan, I'm gonna say Trent, I'm gonna say Noah, and I'm gonna say Sugar. And on the other team, Marissa, Axel, Tom, Jeff, and I'm gonna say Kerry as well. And between these two, I'm gonna say, obviously, it's the Killer Bats making it through. And I feel like the majority of the votes are gonna go on Sugar. So Sugar would be having an outburst, cussing in hell, and this is leading to our elimination. So yeah. Next we have Not Quite Famous. Basically, I think the top 3 chosen maybe would be Logan, Trent with his guitar, and I'm gonna say maybe Izzy with her fire baton she had in the second thing. And for the other team, I'm gonna say Jeff, Mike, and I'm gonna say Ellie in this case, because she doesn't want to get voted off, so she doesn't want to be screwed. So in this case, I'm gonna say between these three, who would have more of a laugh? I'm gonna say it would be more on the Killer Bass because Mike's personalities, and this will be showing his first personality, which would be Chester in this case. So Chester would be the first one, same in timeline as he did. He would be throwing it, and also some of a little bit of Manitoba Smith. So yeah, yep. So in this case, I'm gonna say the majority of votes might go to maybe um Izzy, but I feel like MK would be caught out. Nah, I'm joking. Killer Bass, get down here. Someone screwed you up. And I feel like maybe, even though she didn't really do anything, I'm gonna say maybe Axel gets eliminated just because she is a really annoying personality, and they think that the others did really well, which Axel would be kind of annoyed. Marissa would feel pretty bad for Axel since she was eliminated and says, "Don't worry, it's fine. It's just a game. You might come back. It's all confusing." Axel says, "Fine," and she gets properly eliminated. So next we have the Sucky Outdoors, and I feel like the first team that might arrive is actually, I think it's the Killer Bass making it through. And I feel that the last one for the Throwing Gophers making it through is maybe like Z, because he ain't fast enough, he's slow, and he mostly drinks his soda. So I feel like this is why he gets eliminated in this episode, and he says, I've had fun, even though I've barely been here, but it's alright, I don't really care. And yes, I make DJ a chef since he's really good at cooking, and I could say like I could give it to any role like Mama DJ, but still, I will include DJ in a future season. But in this case, I might not include. I'm not including him in the first 3 seasons. So yeah. Next we have phobia factor. I think Logan's fear would maybe be kissing a guy like he had in episode 3 of DC4. Trent would have the same fear of mimes, but I think Tess would help her out. I think Tess's fear is showing and burning her medicine, but I don't think Don would be that crazy to do that, so I don't think she would actually still go through her fear. MK's fear, I don't think she even have a fear, so she already passes. Yori's fear is being caught out, but I think she fails at it. Noah's fear is maybe being with a dumb person, so I feel like I think he gets coupled up to maybe Carrie or Zoe. And then I think Emma's fear is maybe being beaten by a weaker person. No, I'm joking. I don't think it's that, but I don't know what a fear would be, so I'm unsure. Maybe it's arachnophobia or something, like the Shauna had. Izzy's fear was heights. So, I feel like she would do that. Jeff's fear, I can't remember his fear. I don't think his fear was shown, so I'm unsure. Mike's fear is, showing his personalities, and would be where maybe, Vito gets introduced, and also, Spletlana as well. And everyone else is confused why he has a bunch of multiple personalities, but it'll be a further personality on, and I feel like the team that would win is definitely the Screen Gophers because most of them would pass, and I would say it would most likely, I think it would just be Ellie, just because I feel like she would be a big target in brains, and she says, I have no alliances, so I guess it makes sense. Well, you screwed yourselves. You lost a smart player. Bye. Yes, I'm eliminating Ellie so early, but still, doesn't matter. We will continue on and pounce on. Next, we have Up the Creek. So, in this one, I'm gonna say, because Izzy's still here. I feel like the same thing would most likely happen, and she gets runs away by the RMCPA. So yeah, sorry, Izzy. Next we have Paintball Deer Hunter, and this is a hard one because I'm gonna most likely because someone gets injured in this episode, and I don't think that'll be Jeff, Mike, Marissa, Tom, Carrie, Aiden, and Zoe. But Raj was already injured and eliminated. So I'm gonna most likely say Raj gets eliminated just because he gets injured by the bear. So yeah, sorry Raj, you got an early run, and he gives Jeff and Tom a hug, saying it's fine. Maybe I'll compete later. I'm not sure. If I don't, too bad for me. I can chill in Playa de Losers, and this is the first introduction of Playa de Losers. So yeah. Okay, if you could take the heat, I feel like the head chefs, I think would be maybe Emma, and I'm gonna say Marissa, because I feel like she could be a good cook by her mum, so it does make sense. And I feel like overall, I'm gonna say it's maybe gonna be the Screaming Gophers losing. I'm gonna say that Fiore tells everyone about MK's scheme, and this is why she's eliminated. And then who can you trust? Everyone, I think the same thing in timeline would happen, and the Killer Bass would actually lose. And I feel like because there would be an immunity slip. I feel like maybe Aiden gets it, and I feel like he would most likely get the most votes for being a bit more untrustworthy, so he has to use it. And I feel like his only vote would most likely be sadly on Marissa. So I'm sorry, Marissa, you don't make the merge twice, so I'm sorry. So yeah, I feel bad, but I'm not bringing you back since I don't think it makes more sense to bring you back. So then we have a basic straining, and I feel like the first people to get out was maybe Aiden and Noah, and then Fiore because she's a child. I'm gonna say Trent and Tess, then Mike and Zoe and Kerry. So it's and Jeff. So it's between Tom versus Logan and Emma, and I'm pretty much saying that the Killer Bass lose. And I feel like sadly Aiden, because you used your immunity slip, which made you a big old target, I'm gonna have to say you are eliminated. Yeah, no. I feel like Tom would have to like. No, it's Aiden. Sorry. And I know Tom wouldn't make sense because he would be investigating, but he's not really that fully. He's not. He's just not out in the open. That's why. He's not actually doing this to arrest Don or DJ. He's just doing this for fun. And it would lead to the finale episodes. And okay. And I'm gonna really just say I feel like it's gonna be sorry. And I felt like the last personality would be introduced would be Ishmael, but he wouldn't be properly introduced. So yeah, I'm gonna say that this kind of really gives more of a chance for Killer Bass to most likely vote off Mike. Zoe says bye to Mike, and he says it's fine. At least I got a cult girlfriend. And Zoe's happy and Dawn actually lets them kiss before he entered the street, ended up and says, "Mike, time to go." And then we have the boys, which are Logan, Trent, Noah, Tom, and Jeff versus Emma versus Zoe, Kerry. Okay, pretty much it's gonna be this. Pretty much, I feel like it'd be most likely this. If I do it like that. So it's Logan Fiore, Tess and Trent, Noah and Emma, Tom and Zoe, Jeff and Carrie. And I feel like the one that would get the reward is most likely the boys. So yeah, the girls have to stay for a weekend. Fiore, does not like Emma's personality and wants her to be out and wants to target her for a future elimination. We have the merge now, everyone. Let's go. Okay. Okay, the two people I've decided to bring back for comebacks, I'm gonna say Izzy, and I'm gonna say, because I want to bring back a guy instead of a girl, I'm gonna say he kind of felt bad for maybe Raj getting out, so he's gonna bring back Raj just because of that. And Tom and Jeff are happy to see his friend back, and he said I wasn't properly eliminated, but still, I feel like it makes sense that he would come back since he makes sense to be a merger instead of a for like the final one eliminated with Wayne in it. So yeah, I'm gonna most likely say that Emma gets immunity. So I feel like there'll be a little bit of votes on Fiore, but I feel like the one with the most votes would most likely be I'm gonna have to say it's gonna be Tom because he's so secretive and yeah, I've already given him that elimination before, so I'm gonna say it's most likely gonna be Noah. Sorry, Noah, but you're snarky as hell. Nah, I'm joking, Raj. Nah. I can be annoying to Noah, so I can make it biased as well, so sorry Noah, I apologize, but it makes more sense, so yeah, I'm sorry. So in Search and Do Not Destroy, I feel like Tom makes the alliance with Logan, Trent, Jeff, and Raj, so he can get a girl out. And I feel like the girl they kind of just choose is Kerry, but Jeff says no, so it's Kerry and Jeff are dating, but Tom says we have no other choice, but because Izzy's insane, Emma's too strong, Zoe is too heartfelt. Wait, actually, can we just target Zoe? They say fine, and they get one more vote, which would be Emma, because they said they're avenging Noah. So yeah, they're gonna have a six-way alliance. Well, seven-way, I guess. So Zoe has 7 votes, and 1, 2, 3, 4 votes on Tom. So sorry, Zoe. That's only 2 relationships gone, I guess. In hide and be sneaky, I think the girls would have to convince some guys to vote off someone else. So yeah, I feel like Carrie, you're gonna have the same ending as Bridget. So I'm sorry, but too bad. I've got no other choice but to. In that sort of chain, I'm gonna basically say that I feel like the only one that might be last in this case would either be Fiore, but she's the main villain, so I can't. So I'm gonna say that Raj would be the last one because he gets Fiore's bike, which means kind of annoying. But yeah, I've got no other choice but to. In Hook, Line, and Screamer, I feel like because I think Trent deserves to be the one to go because he'd be the most likely the one to be the first one out because DJ is the host. He's the chef, so he makes sense that Trent gets out because he's not targeting him, but like it just makes more sense that he gets eliminated in this case because he would be the first one to get out because and he would be the psycho killer. He would look like more of a mime to make him scream a bit more and run. So yeah. In What Would Have Gone Wild, I feel like the same thing would happen, and I'm gonna say Izzy gets eliminated, pretty much. I think the teams would be Jeff and Tess, Tom and Emma, and Logan and Fiore, and I feel like the winning team would be Tom and Emma. I feel like Logan and Fiore are gonna be the losing team. And I feel like they would choose popularity over Fiore, so Logan is eliminated. Now I'm joking, Jeff gets the same elimination as before, so sorry Jeff, you are eliminated. Okay, now let's go to the Playa de Losers. So in Playa de Losers, everyone's pretty much everything's still happening. I think Jeff and Kerry are making out. I feel like um Noah is pretty much in the depression state because he misses Emma so much. So yeah, and I feel like because Don comes in and says, "Everyone, welcome to the welcome to your chance to get someone back here," and I feel like that person would most likely be Emma. Noah's happy and all, but he wanted her to win, and Emma comes in, hugs Noah, kisses him, and yeah, Mike and Zoe also bond as well. I feel like Aiden and maybe Marissa have some talking as well. I feel like MK and Axel talk as well. So then we have Camp Castaways, which is non-elimination, so it makes no sense to talk about it. And then we have I'll Be There Yeti. And I feel like between the four that are left, I feel like DJ would have to pick Tom because he's more strategic and stuff, and makes sense for him to be eliminated. So sorry. And the final three, it's obviously going to be Fiore, obviously. So yeah. So the finale two are Tess and Logan. So we now need to do for the teams, which are Team Logan and Team Tess. I think on Team Logan, it's going to be Fiore, Tom, Jeff, Kerry, Izzy, I'm going to say Mike and Zoe. I'm going to say, maybe Aiden and Marissa, MK and Z, and I'm going to say Max and Sugar. And then Team Tess would be, Trent, Raj, Noah, Emma, Ellie, Axel, and Caleb. And to make it a bit more weird and be like a bit different, I'm gonna allow them to help. Okay, we have Tess's helpers, and Logan's helpers. So I feel like on Logan's side, I think he would be a bit more strategic and choose Marissa, and he's gonna bring in his one of his best friends, being Tom. And I feel like for Tessa's helpers, she's gonna choose Trent. And I feel like she can choose Emma as well, because she feels bad for her being eliminated, and also it makes sense for her to choose because she is very helpfulness. But I feel like between the two, I feel like it and the prop canon ending, it's gonna be Logan because he needs to make the deal of taking away $1 million, and Tess gets the second ending, and her timeline ends there. So yeah, so if you want to go either way you want, but either way, Logan wins canonly and Tess wins the second ending. So yeah, I will talk about the island special when I go to action, which will be not for a long time. So I hope you guys like this, and if you want to see more of this, like down below and comment. I'll see you next time, everyone. Goodbye. I hope you have a good day.